Are you a multi-hobby boy like me? Are you looking for new ways to improve at Star Wars Unlimited? What's up, guys? KTOD Maddie here, hitting you with a new take, a new video, a new style. These will pop up when I find the time and when I think that they're applicable. And this is looking into our hobbies and taking lessons from them that we can use to improve our skills, our gameplay, our mental, whatever, whatever we kind of decide. And so this one is golf. Golf is one of my all-time favorite hobbies. If not for this game, my handicap would have probably been a lot better this year. But as I reflect on the golf season, I figured I would take some lessons from golf and apply them to Star Wars Unlimited. I am going to talk about taking accountability for your game. I am going to talk about club selection and how it kind of applies to Star Wars Unlimited. And we're going to talk about the pre-shot ritual. Oh, yeah. All right, so having accountability for your game, ownership of your game, this is a big thing in golf. I think it really applies to Star Wars Unlimited. Having ownership for your game in golf is not just going out there and hacking it up. It is being responsible for your improvement. Some people use coaches, and that is great. That is a great tool. I think you should use them. I think you should use them in golf and in any endeavor that you have if you can afford it and you're willing to put in the time. But beyond those coaching sessions, you need to still have accountability for your game. So here you are. You are consuming Star Wars Unlimited content to get better. That is great. That is the first step to having accountability and having ownership of your game. But you also have to play the game and practice those things. So you've seen my video on practice. You've seen Mike's new video on winning PQs. What you need to do is you need to take these things into practice. The first step is watching. That is great. You go and you learn how to hit out of bunkers. You watch a YouTube video or a TikTok in the shower while you watch your phone in the shower. Ask 16-year-old Maddie. But then you got to practice it. You can't just live in La La Land. You got to go out there and you need to put the pedal to the metal. You have to get there and get the reps in. A lot of us, right, I'm assuming, and I'm probably not wrong, are playing a lot of best of ones, myself included. You find a quick time to play a quick BO1, and you're like, man, I got this. Kira Bluhan, I understand it. However, that is a fallacy. You're not putting in enough time. You need to find the lines. I think there's a video on that. You need to try new cards. Try your bubble cards. I'm going to be talking about deck building soon and about bubble cards. You need to understand when to employ them. I'm looking at Cargo Juggernaut lately. Whoa, we haven't talked about that card since set 1. Why? Because I need a blue card that's going to gain me some life. Ooh, baby. So, having accountability for your game. How does this come into play? I'm not blaming anyone else but myself. Now, we play a card game. There's variance, right? Things are going to happen. However, whenever you lose a game or make a mistake, it is not your opponent's fault for playing out a card that should die to power the dark side, but you don't have it. Guess what? You don't have it. They made a judgment call, wrong or right. Did you play the game in a way to either, did you bluff it? Ooh, we're going to talk about advanced tactics coming up soon, coaching part 2. Did you bluff it, to make them think about it? Leave up those 3 resources a few times. Easier to do in Magic, but you can still do it in SWU. Did you, show them too many early? Did you play them out, and so they knew, they kind of knew you didn't have it. You just played 2 of them, pal. There's ways to take accountability for your game, to put the pedal to the metal, to practice it, and then when things don't go your way, the first person you should look at is yourself. Now, you don't want to beat yourself up. You just want to look inwardly first. Okay, what could I have done? Because you can't control what your opponent's going to do. You can't control the cards they draw. So many times I've beaten people in either practice or in, real matches, and I just hear about, if I only drew this card at this time. Sure, that's like one thing. Sure, that's one part of it. However, did you play in a way that you only needed that one card? Could you have played in a better way so that way you had way more cards that you could have drawn there to win? So, miss me with that, right? Have accountability for our game and for what happens on the table. And so that's the thing in golf, right? If I, don't practice my bunker shots, and then I hit it in the bunker and I get mad that I didn't hit it out, well, whose fault is that? It's my own fault. you know, not the pebble or the fact that it rained or all the things that I like to blame. It's me. And so let's take ownership for our game. When the ball doesn't bounce our way or when the cards fall a certain way, how could I have influenced it? Because that's the only thing you control is yourself, you know? So what's the point of wasting time? Boom, ownership for the game. Let's get it. All right, number two. Number two is club selection. What? We don't have clubs in Star Wars Unlimited. Get out of here with your 6-iron, KTOD, Maddie. Yeah, but we do have decks, right? And so in golf, if you've played golf, and if you haven't, you'll now learn. Golf is a game of misses. In a round of, an 18-hole round, you may, if you're lucky, hit 3 shots. And that's if you're good. 3 shots that did exactly what you wanted to do. Oh, I'm going to start it at this tree and fade it back towards the green. Yeah, normally that's pretty hard to do, right? But if you did it, you tried to do it, and you did it great, you hit that 1 shot. A lot of times, you might just hit it straight, and okay, it started at the tree, stayed at the tree. No big deal. Don't punish yourself for the straight shot. That's a little bit of... he's not in here, Butch Harmon. But anyway, so... deck selection, club selection. Golf is a game of misses. Guess what? Tournament Star Wars is kind of a game of misses too. How many times did you pick a deck expecting a certain meta, and guess what? You played like it once, right? Or you didn't think a deck was going to be there and you played it 3 times, okay? So when we talk about a game of misses in golf, we are saying that here is my shot in front of me, right? And these are the outcomes. If everything goes perfectly great, I get to bend it back from the tree and land it on the green and look like a pro, okay? But I shouldn't set myself up for complete failure. I shouldn't set myself up at the water doing a crazy slice to try to get in play, because what happens if I hit it straight? Oh crap, I'm in the water. That's the same with your deck, okay? Your deck should give you, and this is why I talk about deck selection on the main channel, but this is a good way to put it. Your deck is your club. And so when I'm, picking my deck, I'm looking in a parameter. So we have PQ season coming up, right? Or, whenever this airs. Yeah, it should air before then. But anyway, I'm not even going to edit that out. We're just going to keep it. Booyah. So when you're picking your deck for PQ season, you need to take into account for the fact that you're not going to always play the matchup you want. So... I value a spread deck, right? I value a deck that's going to give me the most matchups. And so when I'm looking at my game one, I might hedge in a certain direction, understanding that I might not hit that match. So I'm expecting some Sabines and Boss Blue. Okay, so I'm gonna say on this weekend, I think that the Sabines are going to be up. So I'm going to hedge a little bit on my deck, right, for the Sabine matchup. But understanding I might only face that one time. So how does that affect me? Well, don't go too crazy, right? Don't have all the main deck, devotions and 17 cargo juggernauts and whatever the heck you can, add in. I'm going to, pull that back a little bit. But also understanding when I don't hit those Sabine matchups, I can't freak out. The tournament is the tournament. The miss, I'm going to hit the miss, right? I'm not going to hit exactly what I want. Or at Gen Con, we expected a lot of Boba Yellow, based off how well it did. And Mike and I freaking hit Palp every round, and we set ourselves up so we weren't screwed if we missed, right? So when you're selecting your deck, understanding that these different types of decks that you're pinning it out for, if you're lucky and you pick the matchup you want, you might only face it twice in the Swiss. So setting yourself up for the future, setting yourself up to win the Top Cut, or setting yourself up to not be completely screwed if you don't hit that magic matchup you think you want to hedge against. So that's deck selection in Star Wars Unlimited. As it relates to club selection, it's a game of misses. You can't predict the future. If we could all predict the future, we wouldn't be playing Star Wars cards. We'd be rich on a beach somewhere, maybe playing Star Wars cards there. So I hope that kind of gives you a new perspective to look at this. A lot of these local tournaments are 32 people. How many Sabines are you going to play? Unless everyone's Sabine. So... be prepared to only hit the matchups that you're really expecting a few times and be, a little more well-rounded. Or, if you want to go for the silver bullet deck, understanding that, the Hail Mary shot might miss. So, booyah. All right, so the next one, or the last one, depending on how long this goes, there might be 3, there might be 4. Editing Maddie will let us know. Just 3. So the next one I want to talk about is the pre-shot routine and how it relates to Star Wars Unlimited. So for any of you that play golf, you're kind of aware of a pre-shot routine. Think, feel, play, right? In golf, at least what I do and what a lot of people do is, between shots, so between your games or matches, whatever, they're walking, they're enjoying the round, they are taking in the good walk spoiled, talking to their friends, whatever. But as you get up to your shot, you're going to zip back in. You are going to think about the shot, maybe what shape you want, maybe you're going to think about, okay, there's, bunkers in this direction. I want to play safer. I'm going to take a longer club, whatever it is, right? So you're going to think about the shot. Then you're going to, do your physical. You're going to get a nice feel in there. I want to think about, turning my body, hinging my wrists, finish, whatever the heck it is. And then you're going to step up to the ball and you're going to hit it. Okay. Let's relate this to Star Wars Unlimited. It is a long tournament. You are going to have a lot of time in between games to kind of freaking, not mess with you, but take your energy out. There's going to be fatigue. There's going to be social interaction. There's going to be all these things. And so you need to find a way to zap yourself back into the game. And you're going to have to kind of do that a lot. You're going to have to do it in between rounds and within a game. At least if you have, kind of a little bit of a crazy brain like me, you're definitely going to have to do it a lot. So what I would suggest in finding your own way to do this is devise a mental checklist before a match. Shout out to my tournament guide. You can do that pre-routine thing I talked about. I think that would be great. But also within a match, within a turn, as your opponent is playing and you kind of zone out a little bit, snap yourself back in. And so find a way to do that. One way to do it is that, there's the upkeep mechanics of, draw resource untap, right? So every time you do that, take a look at the battlefield. Take a quick second. He's got 3 cards. I have 2. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Take a little mental accounting. Do it quick. You only need a microsecond. You don't get 15 or you don't get 30 to 35 seconds. Wonder who said that. Every action, right? You get a short amount of time. So just make a micro action, set your brain back in there, and then get to play. And that'll kind of get you fresh every turn. And so you can extrapolate that. Have a ritual between matches. I'm at this store. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to get some fresh air. I'm going to listen to, one song. I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm going to drink some water, blah, blah, blah. Start creating these rituals for yourself so that way every time you approach a new match or a new turn or whatever, you're familiar with it and you have a process. Because, Mike talks about decision fatigue in his video that dropped recently. Today is my recording. That is going to set in. So finding ways to snap yourself back in are so important. So one thing that I do on the golf course, and a good friend taught me, is I keep my glove on, but I keep it unzipped. So then when I go to go into play mode, I zip it back in. You know what I mean? So that could be a thing. You only wear your hat, or vice versa. You take your hat off, whatever it is, when you're about to play. Creating those little mental triggers, physical triggers to link with the mental is a really strong way to approach anything, any type of game, whether it's golf or Star Wars Unlimited or chess or whatever. Those triggers are so important to snap yourself because, we can't just be locked in all the time. And you don't want to be locked in all the time. You will just fall asleep. So that'd take way too much out of you. So yeah, that is going to be that topic. I think it's great. And let's see where this goes. I'm going to ramble a little bit more in a second. All right, guys. So that is, my take on taking a hobby, in this instance, golf, and finding ways to apply golf to Star Wars Unlimited. I think this is a hugely beneficial exercise. I think you can do it in any hobby you have because it's really all about, the same kind of performance topics, mental topics, and just using things that you've worked on a lot and being like, oh, I've actually practiced this one thing a lot. Let's bring it back and apply it to something new I'm trying. So I'd encourage you to look into your hobbies. Let me know some of your hobbies and how you think they apply to Star Wars Unlimited. I'd love to hear that. If you're a golfer, let me know. I love talking about golf. I could have probably made this an hour and 45-minute video. Instead, I kept it, we're looking at 16 minutes. But yeah, I think it's a wicked good exercise. I'm going to, try to do this more. every once in a while, as I see it, it would apply, because I think it would be a cool thing to kind of bring, like, how do you talk about a 6-iron and Kira ECL in the same vein? Well, we're talking about deck selection, baby. So yeah, let me know let me know all your stuff in the comments, and booyah, see you soon. What am I going to talk about in this video?